Hi, welcome to the Belongcast. This is Diana.
This is Semih.
And today we have a very special guest who is my husband, by the way. He is a physics teacher here in a Dutch educational system. He's Dutch, and we'll let him give the floor to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Peter, indeed, the husband of Diana. I've been teaching for the past 20 years. 2004 I started. And I've been, of course, a student of the Dutch system itself, so I kind of know how the Dutch system works. And I was asked here to answer questions belonging to that subject. So.
Yes, indeed, a lot of internationals struggling with understanding the Dutch educational system. So thank you for being here. It took a little bit of convincing to do, actually.
Really?
Yes. yes. He was very resistant to, but I made him.
Well, it's also a Dutch 4-year vakantie. I'm not sure how to convert this to English, but the first
spring vacation.
Spring vacation. But I'm not sure. The May vakantie is more like spring vacation for me.
No, that's May break.
True. Is 4-year literally means spring?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's correct. And sprint vacation. Well, luckily we have a spring vacation, so that Peter is more available during this time, so he can help us to understand or navigate through the Dutch education system with all the loopholes, with all the barricades and so on, so we can understand better.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll try to anyways.
Thanks for being here.
I think one of the things that we really want to start with is to ask what makes the Dutch educational system so unique.
Well, I don't know if it's that unique. I haven't done all the systems in the world. But what I do know is one of the unique ways is the way we have divided what secondary school is. There are multiple levels at which your son or daughter can perform. And we do this quite early compared to other systems that I know of. I think that makes it unique, and the many different levels makes it also unique. Usually, like in England, you have, as I know, I'm not quite sure, you did the normal level and the expert level. You can go advanced, but that's basically it. Yeah, you can do 2 levels. Here in the Netherlands, you can do. Well, it's however you want to divide it, either 4 levels or up to 10 different levels. And that makes it kind of unique and also very complicated to understand when you hear it as an outsider.
And here in Netherlands, there are different type of schools, right? At top of my head, like Islamic schools, religious schools, openbare schools, the public schools, and Montessori or Dalton type of schools, and Catholic schools. So that gives a lot of option to the parents, if you think about it, because then they can choose. But also it can be a bit trouble of choice as well when they come to the Netherlands, especially international parents. They have to choose something, but they may not know what to choose, and they may not know the differences between them either.
No.
So my question would be to you, when an international parent come to Netherlands, how would they approach choosing this type of school for their kids, which may not be available in their country, but in Netherlands very popular.
But I think there are 2 different types of choice to be made, and that is. The first one is the belief system of the school. It can be a public school, which basically usually doesn't have a specific belief system, or a belief system like a Catholic, Reformed Christian, indeed Islamic. And those choices should be easy because those are familiar to people. They usually know what Islam is. They know what Catholic people are. And you can choose. What you always should ask if you choose specifically for a certain religious type, is how religious they truly are, because that can differ quite a lot.
You mean the parents, right? Not the
And the
schools.
parents should ask the school.
A school also. So it's the density of the religious
Yes,
state.
because
let's
I've
say.
been at, I've taught at a Protestant Christian school for a long time, and we celebrated Christmas and Easter, of course. But that was kind of it. We didn't do morning prayers and all that. I know of colleagues that did teach at Christian schools, that at the other Christian schools that was actually expected. And so there's still a different level of seriousness how to approach that religion. So ask.
And
Always ask.
Does this depend on the school level or also in the the region level in Netherlands as well?
Oh, I would say that in the Bible Belt, for the people that don't know, the Bible Belt stretches from Zeeland to Drenthe almost. You will encounter more religious schools that are keeping really the praying and all that in there. And outside there, you will more see the schools that do not. But there's no guarantees in that, so ask. Yeah, truly ask. Also for primary schools. My kids went to a Catholic primary school. And they did learn the stories and all that. It's something that I've valued myself. But they didn't have to do prayers and all that. But the neighboring school, which was a Protestant school, did do the prayers and all that. Right?
Yeah.
And it's right next to each other, the schools were.
Yeah.
So ask. You need to know what you're getting into. And that's the thing that the Dutchies expect nonetheless. If you don't know something, talk, ask.
And be open about it.
Yes,
so there is no
indeed.
shame to discuss those kind of things.
No.
And school always answers. when you're asking.
Always.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, sometimes when parents come here, it may not be, in the beginning of school year or something. So it can be just in the middle. And maybe in Almere it's not the case, or in men's schools, but in the big cities like Amsterdam, Rotterdam, or Utrecht, there can be a waiting lists that they can enter. So it may not be always an option to just ask, wait, and choose.
Sometimes schools are full.
Yes, sometimes. So they may not always have an option.
No.
They may, because there's also school next to your house, so you have other parameters as well.
Yes, and that's very convenient too. I mean, especially with the small age kids, you don't want to have to travel back and forth. And in primary schools, with the old system schools, where you have to even pick up your kids during lunch and bring them away after lunch again. So the pick up and bringing is 4 events a day.
Yeah.
Being close by school is something that is very convenient. Of course, that is nowadays more and more transitioning into continuous schedule, where the kids do eat lunch at school, which you have to bring yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. And lunch we mean a sandwich with cheese, not the whole lapne and all the other nice things to give. Anyways, but that's just the religious side of it. The other side of it is how you want your kids to be taught, and that can differ a lot too, right?
Yeah.
And those are 2 independent parameters. You can have a Christian school that also is a Dalton school. Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
they don't have to be either this or that,
No.
but they can also...
So there's the pedagogy of it,
Yeah.
and there's the religion side of it, and they both can be happening or not happening at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the most common ones are Montessori, Dalton, Jenaplan, and Vrije School, Waldorf schools. And there too, read what that system is about, because it will have an effect on your kid. And then ask, how do they carry it out? And especially when you choose for those kind of programs, really know what you're getting into. Really know what you're getting into. because those schools also expect a certain posture from the parents to support that pedagogy system.
Yeah.
And without that support, the system will not work.
So it has to be like also parents should be part of it together with the school.
Yeah.
So it's if there's a problem with the kid, let's say, or the environment, it's a common work, right? There's one side parent, think other side the teacher or some consultants. Sometimes I have seen that happen as well.
Yeah.
Can come to the school and then they talk together. I think talking and discussion is very core of the Dutch education system.
Yes, we see schooling really as a triangle. The triangle of parents, school, and kid.
Yeah.
The three of us are working to make sure your son or daughter will have this bright future it deserves. You asked me earlier what was the most common mistake international parents make, is not being part of that triangle.
And I can understand that that's also different. They may be different in their own countries, so they may not used to this kind of involvement. I know in some cultures, in some countries, you take your kid to the school and then it's school's responsibility until the end of it, and then you take it back. And when there is end-year result or something, then there is the moment you talk to teacher or something, and there is no between. So it's one way usually. That is something maybe parents also should take into account.
Yes.
I'm not necessarily agreeing to that, because as a parent here, I think that the schools don't involve the parents. This is something that as much as I try to, over the years, with all the challenges that we had,
it's frustrating.
Every single time, I mean, it's not us. We want to be involved. I mean, of course, there are parents who are not interested, but parents who do want to be involved, they actually are not being involved, because it's particular in some schools, that is, they see it as child's responsibility to update the parents, and only when shit hits the fan, we find out about it, even if we try to get some answers.
Yeah, you're right on the money. And some schools really do have the philosophy too that it should be the kid that is doing the most of communicating with his parents, which is actually in a healthy household not a big problem. But I remember from my own school days telling your parents that you have to, that you got punished for doing this or that. It's a story that you rather not tell. I mean, come on. But those schools are realistic about that part of the telling. But yes, well, as your husband, I know the sort of frustration you're talking about. And that's the different side. You have the philosophy. We do this as a triangle, okay? Nowadays, we call it driehoeksgesprekken too. At high school, you have driehoeksgesprekken. My own
triangle discussion.
My own daughter does that too. I do it to my own students. The idea is that they prepare a presentation with their goals and how they did and why it came to whatever it is, and how they gonna improve. And they discuss it with the teacher, they discuss it with the parent, and to get all three on the page. I support it as a teacher. There are parts. It would be very handy if a parent is involved. Okay, I make agreements like Marie will make her homework and will check her answers. We can see that because with a different color we see if the things are checked and improved. And then I look at the parents. We will check the notebook to see if it's happening. That way, if it's really followed through, if Marie is not doing her homework again, it should not come as a surprise to the parent. And then as a parent, you can also step up and say, hey, Marie, and have that conversation. At school, we will have that conversation too, of course, but then it comes from two ways, and it's us working as a tandem to get Marie on the right spot, because of course Marie needs to do her homework. That doesn't always work like that.
No.
And there's the philosophy, there's the ideal, and there's the day-to-day, where as a teacher, many of my colleagues are running from A to B and not always have the time to take, which is worse at the moment because of, especially in Almere, it's insane how the teacher shortage.
Yeah.
Which makes the teachers that do work harder than they should.
True.
And not all things will always go as the ideal will do.
No, I can understand. Well, we are going to talk about the secondary levels education also. That's the whole. I think that's more valuable for Peter because he's what we call in Netherlands the middelbare school, which is secondary school teacher. But before going that, I want to just take one step back, Peter, and just briefly talk about the primary school as well. Although it's not your expertise, you know a lot about it as well.
No,
you went through it, so
I went through it. I had multiple kids of myself go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Diana and I together have 5 kids, so we know the primary school as well too.
Yeah, so that's where I want to just to take a step back and talk about it. So here in the Netherlands, primary school is like in total 8 years, right? Yep. So can you give us a bit, walk through about where it starts? How about the first 2 groups are different than the other groups, and where it ends, and then what happens? So like an overview of it.
Kindergarten is integrated into primary school, where it's usually separate. In other countries, it's here part of primary school. That means that group 1 starts at kindergarten level 1. From the age of 4, a kid is expected to go to school, where in these days, it's in these early days, it's really to teach the kid the rhythm of school, to get him the stamina to do school, to sit when the teacher tells him to sit, to learn the rules of the classroom, and things like that, and mild and various things like counting to 10, the days of the week and things like that. Second year, they actually expect to be at school most of the days, but if your kid still has a very big need of sleep, it's just tired or something, it's kind of okay still to skip an afternoon here and there. But from group 3, the kid needs to be at school every day. And then the real education starts, arithmetics, language, some common knowledge. And that will continue until the end of group 8, where from the group 6, sometimes, mostly from group 7 onward, your kid will also get a prognosis about what the most likely next school will be, what school level, and that is the most confusing one, I think.
Yes.
But primary school is really about the basic knowledge skills, learning to calculate, learning to read, learning to spell, and have some common knowledge.
And so the kids are going from group 1, group 2 is, as you said, just the kindergarten, and from group 3 it starts until group 8. So it's like a 5 year of education in the primary 6 years of education in the first in the primary school level, and then at the end, so they start at the end of each year. They start having exams, right? I'm not sure
beginning
when they
and
start.
end. I think mostly around October, and at somewhere around June, May.
Yeah.
They have a sheet
2 times in
CITO or an EAP or some other kind of standardized testing.
Does the school decide which kind of exam is going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's each school can choose, because each test has different. Well, I don't know. I don't think they're really that different, but they all promise different things, and they of course cost different kinds of money, which is a very important thing too for the school.
Does each school have a budget for throughout the year, and
Yeah.
they use these also exams as a part of this budget?
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
And all the papers and the scissors and all that. Yeah.
Everything is involved in this.
Yeah.
And who, just out of curiosity, who decides this budget, and what are the
The budget comes per student. They get a budget from the gemeente.
Okay.
And the principal of the school will decide how the budget is managed and where it will go, what will be done.
So the amount of kids define the how much they are going to get from the gemeente. Is it always from the municipality they get the budget from?
Public schools, yes. Religious schools sometimes has a second stream too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's by law that all the money that a public school get and non-public schools should get too.
And does it differ from the municipality to municipality? The money per kid is going to get, or is it always the same?
The base, no, but yes, I think it is. I can see that some municipalities will fund extra money into education, and there are government streams, like national government streams, that will focus more on neighborhoods that are socially lacking. That's not really nice the way of saying it, but that are socially concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? To strengthen the neighborhood too, to make sure that the people that need the leap up the most have the ability to take that leap, because in those neighborhoods nationwide, but also all over the Western world, tend to have the most people that don't finish school or don't finish at such a high level of school, while they are no dumber or smarter than we are, so they should actually perform as well as we do. But they're social problems, so they don't.
Yeah.
And there are extra funds to make sure that those schools...
To close the gap.
Yeah.
To help them out. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. That's quite valuable information, I guess. And we just diverted from the topic, but if you go back to the primary school, as you said, there are exams which is happening 2 times a year, and based on these exams, at the end of the group 8, also there is a school choosing option. So we are going to come to that, but if you remember, before the episode we were also talking about these exams, and in previous years, maybe a decade ago, let's talk about CITO, for instance. CITO exam results for Netherlands was really high, and when you check the rankings in the Europe, Netherlands was in the top 3, top 4 in some areas, because there are 4, I think, different level in the CITO. So in some of them 3, in some of them 2, so something like this. But when I checked recently, it was like around 10, 11, 13. So I see a decrease in that level, and I just want to hear your opinion about.
I don't want to say that you're confused, but I think you're confused.
Yeah.
CITO is een doorstroomtoets made by a Dutch company for just the Dutch education system, and the PISA. Results are international.
Yes, I wanted to say PISA, sorry.
And indeed, we're going down. Reading and calculating we're ranking lower and lower. 2 things are happening. Other countries are getting their stuff together and are just starting to perform at the level that they should, instead of underperforming, which makes they rise to the top. But as soon as a country rises to the top, another country needs to go down. There's not 10 places one. So there's that logic. But yes, students are, in my opinion, indeed getting worse at reading, at least. Where I 20 years ago was mostly busy with explaining physics. Nowadays, I really need to set a portion of my teaching in how to read the question, and this is concerning, and it's concerning all through education. We are really talking about it and taking our time to see how to fix this. Easy causes are the amount of reading that is done is going down because YouTube is easier than reading a book. Netflix and TikTok make more entertaining than investing in reading a book and all that. And if you read less, your ability to read will go down too.
Do you perceive some countries already starting to think about removing the learning from the screens for using the computers? Is this something?
I would love that.
Yeah, definitely we would too. I think it has a really big impact on the education and lowering numbers in it, actually. That's my opinion.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, I don't have research data on how well or how bad it does. I think that it should not matter per se. A text on a computer is a text in a book is the same text. But, and I do know this actually from research, although I can't quote which research it is, the reading a book invites more thorough and peaceful reading, while looking at the screen invites more, how do you say that? Racing through the text, flicking and clicking through, just like snapping the text instead of really thoroughly reading it.
Like having a rush to finish it.
Yeah, it like swipe reading. Let's call it swipe reading. Reading the first two lines, I know this, and we can go on. Really sitting down to read the whole screen, I know for myself too. I don't like that. If I need to read a long text, I really prefer to have it on paper because it's just so much more relaxed to read that way.
Can it be a cue that our brain created? Because, usually with this screen, it's either a phone or a tablet or, whatever. And it's something when we want to consume something really fast. It can be a video or something entertaining. So maybe our brain creates the cue whenever it's a screen time.
No.
Even if it is a scientific article or something, you tend to swipe it because that's your muscle memory, right?
Yeah, that's what you do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very plausible one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could be.
It has been TikToked by now. Yeah.
I was reading the news. I think it was last year or maybe this year. Finland was planning to, because they at some point they stopped all the papers.
Yeah.
They switched to constant, the electronics. They decided to go back to the papers again because they have seen a decrease in the exam results.
I read that too. Yes.
Yeah. So I think some countries are already started, noticing this.
And then, of course, next to that, if you allow a student a screen, the next battle that you will have is that I need to contest with Instagram, with Netflix, with YouTube.
Which is not possible, of course.
Well, I'm a very funny and good teacher, really I am. But I'm sadly not as funny as Netflix is.
No, it's not a fair comparison, to be honest.
So as a teacher, you lose out. And if one student starts doing it, then the next one thinks, oh, that's cool, let's do that.
Yeah.
And then it starts to become a battle. In my classes itself, I hardly ever allow screens. And that gives so much peace.
All right. That's good to hear. So if I carry on in the group 8...
This is, by the way, a genuine, complete opinion of mine, but a really genuine advice. Don't go to a computer in class school. If you have the chance to choose a school, don't do a school that does education via a computer. Really, a book is way more peaceful and better. Besides, any book school will always have the option that when it's needed, when it's logical, they can switch to computers that are, of course, available at any school. And that's how I do it too. When I need a computer, when I do want to do simulations or whatever for my physics, I will just get the laptop card, roll it into my class, and everybody has a laptop. But the distraction is not there when I don't want it, and that makes it so much better. If you can choose, my personal advice, don't take it more than that, my real person but genuine advice, choose a school that is not a computer school.
No, thank you, Peter. I think that's valuable. I'll keep that in mind also when I'm choosing my next school for my son as well.
Yeah, I do want to ask a question, and this is a question that I asked several times, is why there's such a difference between primary and secondary, why the primary schools go from 1 till 8 groep, and then secondary starts from 8 to 6 or depending class. I mean, don't you people know how to count after 8?
No. We saw that 8 is a very nice binary number. You can make it out of ones and zeros, and that's great for us. No, you asked this earlier on too, of course, and it's funny, huh?
Of course, I always ask it because I just don't get it.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I'm never bothered by it. It's just the way it was. I do remember my parents telling me when I was in primary school numerous times to each other saying, no, it's group 6 now. Meaning the system just changed. And you guys gave me some time to think about it. I think it's also around the period that kindergarten was integrated into primary school. Mm. And I think the choice was made then, because kindergarten is not a class. It's not class 1. It was the class before. And to change it into group would make it the new system really stand out from the old system. But this is me having an educated guess at the moment. And why it arrived there.
But why the switch to the class then? Can't you just, if you do groups, great. So you then go group 9, group 10, group 11.
Yeah, but you can also make the difference by saying class. As soon as you're
clearly, yes, but...
as soon as you're talking about classes here in the Netherlands,
but you can say class 9, right?
Yeah, we can, but...
but we don't.
Everybody that is in class 2 knows, that must be middelbare school.
Yeah, after a certain age, you don't become a group anymore. You become a class.
Yes,
so
indeed.
It's not fair to get called.
And it's just semantics. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
No.
It's funny, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but it's confusing for the internationals.
Yeah, that's why we do it, actually. You found us out.
Thank you for being honest. I'm pretty
Finally.
Sure, Peter's going to find out the real truth about it, and he will tell us. We will later on share this information with you guys. So, Peter, after group 8, so there is a doorstromtoets, something is called, during the group 8, and there is also an advice that is given by the teacher, right? So that is racing each other at some point. Sometimes they align, sometimes they don't. And based on this information, kids are going to the secondary school. Yeah. And in the secondary school, there are different levels as well. Yeah. So can you also give us a bit information about how this advice and doorstromtoets calculation works, and what kind of separation in the secondary level schools?
Well, this is going to be a bit of a long explanation, I think, and would when I did the how do you call it? What I did in the evening? What's the name? The presentation. When I did my presentation for international parents, I had a whole nice graph next to it. I could point to the things, and this is what I would like to have now. But hey, it's a podcast. I first start at the doorstroomtoets. The doorstroomtoets.
Next time we're gonna have a on video with you, and you can do a presentation. It's gonna be all shown.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
We'll do a series about Dutch education. I think this is something for the international parents would be very interesting.
Yeah, true. We can do that.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Suddenly I have
He
more
just-
work.
You just signed your life away.
You don't know what you're signed up for. Right?
I think I did that years ago when I put on this rig, but that's what I love. Anyways, the doorstroomtoets, it should not come as a surprise. If it's a real surprise, then the school didn't do its job. Of course, if you're an international parent that just came to the Netherlands and you landed in groep 8, it is a surprise, okay? There's no backing off from that. But any kid that went through primary school multiple years will have had an advice, or at least a graph where the advice will be heading to already multiple times. So in groep 6, they will start to say, well, your kid is probably going to go to a VMBO, maybe MAVO. And then at the end of group 8, they narrowed it down. Okay, it's going to be TL, it's going to be KBL, which are different levels in het VMBO. So it should not be a surprise. The complete advice is what the teacher sees happening in the class. He is interacting with your student. At the beginning of the year, the transfer was done by the Group 7 teacher to the Group 8, already discussing what the kind of levels, what the difficulties, where the kid excels and all that. Really detailed information given through to the next teacher. And then Group 8 teacher is putting all the data that he has, how the kid acts, the doorstroomtoets and all that together, and says, okay, it's probably going to be this. Right? Most likely, especially when there are multiple teachers in groep 8 at that school, they will do this together in a meeting to back each other up, to really see and all that. It's not something that is just looking at the wind and saying, today it's going to be this. The doorstroomtoets can change the advice a bit, but only upwards. And this is an important one. It cannot put the kid down. So if the teacher is already convinced it's going to be HAVO, and then out of stress the kid completely fails the test, it's not, sorry, you're going to go you can't go to that school anymore, you have to go there. It can only go upwards. And then the advice will come out, and then you have the 4 different levels, what will break down into actually 8 different levels. But let's start at 4, 3. Let's keep it at 3 first. Okay.
And we can also, just in a shallow level, we can go through them.
So let's do the 3 back levels. You have a VMBO school, which will prepare your kid for the practical jobs. Carpenter, plumber, those real practical jobs, but also a nurse, a caretaker, things like that. Okay, good, valuable jobs. I mean, and I know plenty of people out of that level, and they earn a lot of money. They have tons of respect, and they're really good and proud of the jobs which they do, and that's in the end what you want to have for your kid. Then, if the kid is more academically capable. If it's truly academically capable, it will go to VWO, which is the level that truly prepares you for a master level of education. And most countries will leave it at that, those 2 streams. Either you will go practical or you go academic.
Yeah.
here in the Netherlands, we recognize there are also practical jobs that need highly and very smart people to do it. I mean, an accountant is still a practical job. It is not academics. But I would love it if my accountant is kind of smart and knows how to calculate. It makes my taxes more safe.
Yeah.
So in between the VMBO and het VWO, oh, that sounds very similar. So I will say it again: VMBO, so VMBO, and VWO, VWO. In between there, we have put an extra level called HAVO, HAVO. To cover the need for those types of people, kids that are really smart, but not really interested in academics, okay? That need those highly skilled jobs, will go for those highly skilled jobs, and can reach bachelor levels in getting that. Okay? So you have VMBO for the practical jobs, and then the VWO for the academics, and in between there's HAVO. VMBO, the practicals, fall apart in multiple levels again, but for now, let's keep it at this.
Yeah, well, thank you. I don't know if it is possible, but I will also put some links into the episode about the explanation of these things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check if your presentation is available online. If it is online, I will put the link. If not, we will figure it out.
What
somewhere.
is available, I would say, is the education guide that I wrote for Belong, where everything that I'm saying now is also written down there. Yeah? It's all the practical information that you actually need.
Oh, that's great. Then we can definitely suggest this to the listeners if they want to learn more about education insider guide. Yeah? Great. So since we are talking about the Dorstrom tools, which I already wanted to ask you before. When we are taking this recording during this time, there is also some discussions going on in Netherlands about the Dorstrom tools. So forgive my ignorance if I make mistake, but please correct me later on. As I understand, the Dorstrom tools, each school can decide which Dorstrom tools provider they are going to take, and then kids are taking those exams in their school. So as you just mentioned, Dorstrom tools can only go upwards, which means that if the teacher gives an advice of, let's say, HAVO, and if kids gets a very good result, which is VWO, then kid can go to the VWO.
The school can decide to adjust the level, yes.
Yes. So then the discussion started between the parents in Netherlands that then is it fair, because some schools can select a Dorstrom tools provider which can, as I said, that's an opinionated comment, but which can be slightly easier than the others, that can create an inequality between the kids. So that there's a discussion going on, there is different opinions, and as a teacher, I just would like to hear from your opinion as well.
Well, all the Dorstrom toetsen, all the different providers say that the level is the same. I trust in those institutions and all that. But statistically, that cannot be. It's just not possible. Even the exams, which come the exams at the end of VWO HAVO, shift through time a bit, and we adjust for that. Okay, and we can, because it's just a national test. We have enough students doing this test, so that the statistics works out. But with many different providers of a single standardized end test, this becomes less possible. And my opinion is, I think we're human. And if one of those companies starts to notice that, hey, I get a bit more popular if I just make it like this 0.5% easier. So my students get this 0.5% more higher levels. The very human thing is to start doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's not even evil. It's just, hey, I want to make money. I want to be the best. I want to be the most popular. So yes, that will happen, I think. And I think because of that, because it's so human to do, yeah, of course I believe in everybody's best intentions and promises and all that. Yes, they really want to do well, but they're human. So let's kill that human factor and make one standardized test. Which makes it a monopoly, and that's the other side that is screaming. But then it's just one house and mark working. But school education should not be done according to the market. It should just be done well.
No, I definitely agree with that. And my curiosity also that isn't there any government agency or something that audits these tests?
I would say that the onderwijsinspectie has looked at it and keeps the level kind of the same. But as said before, this cannot be done perfectly.
No.
That's just a pipe dream.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thanks for your opinion. That means a lot to me. And well, I'm gonna continue a bit more, a few more questions before we close up because it just piled up. And since I have you here, it's a perfect opportunity for us. So when the school, when a group 8 kid gets an advice and after the doors thrown to it, they have to choose a school. Right, that differs from city to city, of course. But in some cities, like there are options, like up to 4 different schools to be available to be chosen, because nobody wants. Because if everyone chooses one school, and if there are too many students going to the same school, then school has to select certain amount of students. Then the remaining can just leave that outside, which we don't want it. So they need to have second option, third option, and fourth option. So here in Almere, for instance, there are 4 schools available for the group 8 kids. They have to choose. But then the parents, so there is like what we call open dags here. The kids are going to the school. They see it. They talk to the teacher, which is very nice. I find it very valuable. But in the end, it is, kids can choose one school, maybe second one. But having the third and the fourth option is really, stretching. But it is also mandatory. So, again, I'm asking your opinion out of experience as well. Is it really happening that kids are going to the third and fourth option that often? Or what happens if they don't choose it?
Yeah.
And also the third question maybe, what happens if they fall into the fourth option? Do they have a chance to just reject it and not go to that school?
Yeah, this is a new system, like since last year. So I should actually really look into it. What I know, but that's not from the Almere system. That's from the system of Amstelveen, Amsterdam, where I teach.
Okay.
You have to actually choose up to 12 schools. And yes, you can definitely get number 5 or 6. And then that's just your school. They do this because they want to shuffle all social standings throughout the school, so you don't get elite schools and backwater schools, which is very important. We can all learn from each other, and having that social cohesion is a very good thing to experience and to see. And backwater schools, socially vulnerable schools, are not safe and will hit the most vulnerable people in society even harder. So that's something that we really should not. So the shuffling is good, and Almere is getting a big city. This starts to happen, and it starts to be a thing here in Almere too. So yes, it's a good system. As far as I know, you cannot reject where you go. You chose 4. One of those 4 is going to be. In choosing 4, most likely it will not be 1.
Yeah.
And some kids take it hard. But what I also know is that even the kids that take it hard, after a few months being in the new school, where everybody is new, where everybody starts to make friends, they kind of forget that they didn't like it. And it will be fine, especially the mental programs in the first year are extended, and those mentors are really selected. The mentor is the teacher of that group in middelbare school. He will most likely teach only one subject to your kid, and have an extra mentor with your kid, which will where he will teach study skills, planning skills. What's the school? Where can I find the dean? Where can I have all those questions? And for parents, he is the first to contact if things are happening at school. That what's happening here? Why is this not? Hey, my kid is not performing well in math. What can I do? He's the first one, or she is the first one to contact. That's the.
Is it only in the first year, first
No.
class, throughout all the secondary
I
school?
myself am a 4th year mentor, where I don't have to explain to my students anymore what classroom is and how. Well, I need to tell them how to plan more that they should plan, but different problems, but the same idea.
And what's the group of students that you mentor?
I have a group of 27 students.
27. Was it always the same since the beginning of their first class, and then you went through?
It differs in the sense of not every class has as much students.
Yeah.
And in physics, I'm lucky and unlucky enough sometimes to have smaller classes, because kids tend to think it's very difficult. So some years don't really choose to have physics in the upper years, and then I have small classes, and as does also a small mental class.
Oh yeah, okay. So you only focus on the students who choose physics class, your class.
Yeah,
in this matter.
That's a quirk of the high school too. After the 2nd year of VMBO and after the 3rd year of half of VWO, you choose the subjects you want to do exam in, and all the other subjects are discarded. That's done via profiles, and the school will really guide you through it, and most of all guide the student through choosing what it wants to do and why it wants to do what.
But there are still some that you cannot discard.
No, you cannot discard Dutch. You cannot discard math on VWO. On VMBO and HAVO you can discard math. And you can't discard English.
So there are some mandatory lessons that you have to take anyway. Then on top of that, is it like there is a credit system that every student has a certain amount of credit and they have to choose, or some classes have more way on the others, or is it the amount always?
No, there are as I said earlier, profiles. At the end of the 90s, a common complaint of the universities was that the students came in with subjects that were really not relevant for the studies that they wanted to follow. So the idea was at the end of the night to make to pre-select already, to make combinations, preset combinations for the different profiles, so that you will fit better in the expected university or HBO.
And are those profiles created by the school itself, or is it, for instance, for VWO, is it always the same profile?
With small variations. for example, some schools do teach Chinese, other schools don't teach Chinese, so you can't not choose Chinese at that school. With small variations, it's always the same.
Okay. Well, that's understandable. We are almost closing our time, so I just have one last question to you, Peter. We talked about many topics, but again, if you had to give an advice to the international parents who are coming to Netherlands, of course it's a very broad, because some people may be coming here in the first group, some others can become, they may arrive here when their kids just start the middelbare school or in the middle of it. But let's focus on the people maybe who have kids in the middelbare school, if you want. So if you had to give an opinion or an advice to the international parents who are just starting the Dutch education system, what would it be?
Well, engage with the school, be part of it. That's really what I would advise. But also understand that the Dutch system is not focused on high performance from the students. It's focused on the well-being of the students. The idea is, if the student feels nice, feels safe, it will want to study. And that makes that the main idea of the school is relax. It will happen. Just relax. If it doesn't happen this year, if it doesn't go immediately to VWO to get his academic degree, the system is very forgiving. After HAVO, if he did HAVO, he is guaranteed a spot in VWO if he still wants to do that. You can stack. If it doesn't happen now, we can do it later. Relax. Really, just relax. That's so ingrained in the Dutch education system.
Yes, that's not what we, the internationals, like.
No.
That's not what we are used to, at least.
No, indeed. It's high performance. I have a student from Ukraine in one of these years, and their parents are really asking for extra textbooks and how can I do the math equations better, and no, relax. He does his homework. He's performing well. He will get there. Relax. He needs to enjoy it too, because as soon as he really enjoys it, he will start to love it. And if you love a subject, man, what kind of magic you can make then? And yes, I know the result is that many of our students are not motivated. It's a real issue in the Dutch education system. Really high enjoyment of school, really low motivation, and kids are in levels where they sometimes should not. They could perform better. They could be in higher levels if they would just apply themselves. And that seems like a waste, but usually those students still get there. If not via the middelbare school, he will do HBO, and after HBO he can also still do university. The Dutch system is very forgiving. You can always stack. If you want to get somewhere, there are many ways to Rome. And you can. All you need to do is walk. And for walking, you need to want to walk. So you need to enjoy it. So relax. It will happen. You will get there.
I want to shoot myself just listening to that.
Well, I felt like meditated already. So I'm already relaxed. Thank you, Peter. Well, I really enjoyed this talk with you, Peter. And
thank you.
We have a tradition in our podcast. So whenever we have a guest, we ask this guest to write a question in our famous black book. And then that question,
very sexy.
that question is asked by us to the next guest. And at the end of this episode, you are going to also write a question.
Okay, cool.
Without knowing who is going to be the next guest.
And it means that I'm going to get a question now.
Yes, from the previous episode. So Diana is going to read it now.
Okay. It is going to be a little bit weird because you are Dutch, but let's go for it. Do you still see yourself living in Almere or in the Netherlands in the 10 years from now? How about in 50 years from now, if you're still going to be alive?
People should
And why?
people should know this before answering this question. I've been living in Almere since 1983.
Yes.
I can truly say this is my city. I've seen it grow. I've seen it become what it is. Do I see myself living here in 40 years? Yeah, sure. Why not? I really enjoy Almere. It's a good city to live in. Do I see it as the only possibility? No. But yeah, likely. Certainly. And in 50 years... Well, maybe...
40 years was okay, but...
in 50 years, maybe in a retirement home or something, but...
Yeah, we can think about it 50 years later.
In 50 years, Almere is going to be celebrating its 100th years.
Oh, that's true.
That's going to be awesome. Then I celebrated the 10th, the 25th, the 50th, and the 100th.
Wow.
Yes.
You can collect your badges from the...
Hey,
Yeah. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate you joining in. This is your first, yet not the last. So get prepared. You promised.
Yeah.
Everybody heard now. I do think the next one, I mean, there's so many things we can dive in within the Dutch educational system. And like you said, it's we're going to put on the website, we're going to put the link to the guide. If anybody wants to purchase, it has everything the international needs to know about the educational system. And I think next time when we're going to meet, we are working right now on a video setup. So next time it's going to be in a studio properly.
Thank God I missed it.
Not yet. It's coming. And I think it will be interesting, our next conversation to have about various special education challenges that students have. And how the Dutch system addresses that and what is possible, learning disabilities and various kind of thing. I think a lot of
Why would you do that?
Why
would you learn a
because
disability?
You're dyslexic. I'm just going with that one.
I would not learn a disability, though.
No, but I mean, it is quite a bit of difference because how the Netherlands treats or adjusts the educational system and how it works for children with challenges, very neurodivergent challenges, is quite different than in other countries. And I think a lot of parents would be very interested to hear how it happens here. So this will be our next episode with Peter about, and we will update one.
Get ready, Peter.
I will.
Thank you very much again. We are closing this episode, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, tot ziens.
Tot ziens.
Thank you.